Bicentenary. I heard an old story, one I'd heard before and told before, but I heard it this past week, and as I got to thinking about it, first I laughed. I thought it was funny, and I'm going to tell it to you, so I hope you think it's funny also. After a while, I thought, I'm not sure it's as funny as I thought it was. Let me see if I can help you understand. I'm going to have to read it to you because it's a long old story, and it's kind of complicated. It's the story about this young man named Sam, and Sam wants to join a church. He goes to the church and tells the leadership what he wants to do, and the leadership says, well, Sam, before you join, you have to show us that you have some knowledge about the Bible. So, would you tell us what part of the Bible do you like the best? And Sam said, well, I like the New Testament the best. And they said, well, that's understandable. A lot of people do. What book in the New Testament do you like the best, Sam? And Sam thought for a minute, and he says, I like the book of parables the best. And they said, the book of parables? Well, would you tell us one of your favorite parables? And Sam said, all right. And then Sam goes, once upon a time. Because you and I know every good parable begins once upon a time. All right, Sam goes, once upon a time, a man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among the thieves, and the thorns grew up and choked him. We went on his way, and he met the Queen of Sheba, and she gave the man 1,000 talents of gold and silver and 100 changes of raiments. He was driving along under a big tree when his hair got caught in a limb. Left him hanging there, and he hung there many days and many nights. And the ravens brought him food to eat and water to drink. Well, one night while he was sleeping, his wife Delilah came along, and she cut his hair off, and he dropped down to the stony ground. And then it began to rain, and it rained 40 days and 40 nights, so he hid himself in a cave. And then a man came up and said, and begged him, he says, come to my banquet. But this man said, I can't, I just married a wife. But the man went out into the highways and the byways, and he compelled others to go to the banquet. Later on, he came to the city of Jerusalem, and he saw Queen Jezebel sitting up high in a window, and when she saw him, she laughed at him. So he said, throw her down from there, and they threw her down. And he said, throw her down again, and they threw her down 70 times, 7 times. And the fragments that they picked up filled 12 baskets. Now, whose wife will she be in the judgment? And at that point, he stopped. He was done. That was his favorite parable. You know, like I said, that's kind of a funny story until you stop and think, I sure hope that there aren't people in the church that hold on to stories like that or have that poor of Bible learning. I hope our church, I hope you know your Bible a whole lot better than that. Why? Because there are times when you need the biblical truths. You don't need the lies that people tell or the stories that somebody tells you that they thought they read someplace, maybe in the Bible, and I don't remember, and oh my gosh. You don't need that stuff. You need the truth of what's in the Bible. And can I show you why? The very first miracle of Jesus is found in John's Gospel, the 2nd chapter, verses 1 to 11. It's the story of a wedding that Jesus attended. While he was attending this wedding, the couple ran out of wine. Now, Cana, what do we know about Cana? Well, not much. We know where Nazareth is. In fact, if we go to Israel, we can go to Nazareth together. Nazareth was a very poor community. In fact, it was so poor that there are very few homes in that area. Mostly what you have is people would dig holes or make caves along the side of the mountain. And those became people's homes. That was where they lived. Cana is supposedly was near Nazareth, but we haven't found it. We don't have any knowledge of exactly where Cana was. So Cana must have been a pretty insignificant, I guess, is the correct word. Must have been a pretty insignificant little village. But Jesus went there, so maybe it wasn't insignificant. He went there to attend the wedding of a couple. We don't even know their names. And we don't know why he was there. And we don't know why his mother was there either, but she apparently had some authority. Because when there was a problem, She told the servants to do whatever Jesus said. And they did as she told. They did what Jesus said. Now, running out of wine when you're poor, maybe that's to be expected. But in the days of Jesus, this would have been humiliating. This would have been disgraceful. And this couple, on what should have been the happiest day of their life, would have lived the rest of their lives in the shadow of the shame of running out of wine. So Mary came to Jesus on behalf of a couple whose names we don't know, in a village we can't even find. And she said, help them. And he did. He turned water into wine, and not just any wine, but into the best wine people had ever had. The greatest wine they'd ever had. Now, folks, listen to me. That story is in our Bibles for a reason. It's there to give us hope and to give us help and to encourage us. Because there's probably a lot of times when we look at our problems and we begin to think, you know, in the greater scheme of things, our problems, maybe even our lives, are pretty insignificant. Well, maybe they are. But they're never insignificant to Jesus. Because this Bible tells us Jesus cared so much about people, even a couple you and I will never know. Jesus cared so much. He rescued the day. He turned the day from humiliation to celebration. Why did Jesus do that? Because he cares. Because he loves you. Church, hear me. Because he loves you. As we go through these days of pandemic and as we go through these days of trying to reopen and all of the other things that come with it, I want to remind you, not of what somebody thought they read once someplace in the Bible, maybe. No, I want to remind you what the Bible teaches. The Bible teaches that you matter to God. He loves you, church. Remember that. Now let me close by just giving you one last reminder. This coming Sunday, the 21st, we're going to reopen the church. You know the realities. We're all going to be wearing our masks, even while we sing. We're all going to be practicing social distancing, even as we enter the church, even as we exit the church. There are going to be ushers who are going to be giving us directions. We're going to follow those directions because it's the right thing to do. Because it's going to make this the best day for everyone. Are you going to get to sit where you want to sit? Maybe not. But you know what you are going to get to do? You're going to get to be in church with other brothers and sisters, with the centenary family. And because of that, the rest of it's going to be okay. So I'll see you there, church, on the 21st. All right? Bye-bye.